Hey there, today we are going to finish up lesson 7b. We started lesson 7.5 the other day and we've been practicing graphing coordinate pairs and we're going to continue that today. Okie dokie? All right, I have a new little coordinate plane right here that I want to talk about. This is just one section. I've got point J listed and the coordinates for that is 4, 6. Point K at 4, 1, point L at 2, 1, and point M at 2, 6. So let's go ahead and graph that. Okay, so I'm going to do this one right now, but you guys are going to watch here. So the first one, point L, is at 4, 6, which means we go over 4 and up 6. Now I have to mark this down here because that's the only way I can do that. But okay, there we go. So that's our dot, and then we always label our dots. Okay, so that is point J. Did I call that L before? I might have. I'm seeing it backwards in my screen, and that's probably why. Okay, so that's our point J. Next, let's do point K. We're going to go over 4, up 1. So our x-axis is first, and I'm going to label that. Here's my x, and here's my y. Remember, x goes this way, and y goes this way. The first coordinate in our coordinate pair is an x, and the second one is a y. Okay, so 4 that we did for J was over 4 on the x-axis and up 6 on the y-axis. If we go over and then up, we'd go right there. Okay, so now we're on K. We're going to go over 4, up 1. So over 4 on the x, up 1 on the y gives us a dot right there, or a point. So I'm going to go ahead and mark that, and I'm going to label it because that's what we do. So that is a K. Okay, our next one is L. We are over 2 on the x-axis and up 1 on the y, which puts us right there. That is our L. We got it? Okay, and then our last one, point M. We go over 2 on our x-axis, over 2, and up 6 on the y-axis, up 6. So our dot, our point is going to be right there. Okie dokie. We've got our 4 points, and if we actually connect those, we have made a shape. So I'm going to connect J to K, K to L, L to M. Oh, my line's not too straight there. I should have used a ruler. And M to J, back to J. So I've got a little rectangle there, don't I? Yeah, and you guys made some shapes. Hopefully on the last assignment with your number rock page, you made some mystery shapes. So good job. This is the shape that I made today. Now we're moving just a little bit ahead of where we were the other day because yes, we graphed some shapes. We've done that. Now what we're going to do is talk about our line segments here and find out the distance of our lines. All right, the first one that I want to talk about is JK. JK. So J is right here, K is right here. This is called a line, right? That makes sense. And what we want to know is the length between J and K. I'm going to hold this up pretty close for you to see. What is the length? Now, anytime we talk about length, we're talking about a measurement, a type of measurement, right? And what we're measuring here is unit squares. So let's see, what is our length? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 units is our length between point J and point K. It's 5 units, okay? So we could count that. There's 2 ways, though, that we can find the length. We did the first one, which was counting, but there is another way also. Think about it for a minute if you could figure out a way. I'm going to give you a little hint. We did our points, the length that we're finding is between point J and point K, right? Now look at their coordinate points. let's find some similarities and differences, okay? They are both on the 4 line, right? They both are along this line right here, the 4. Yeah, okay. That's the part that's the same. Look at the part that's different. One is at the 6, and another point is at the 1. If we subtract these two that are different, then that gives us the length. Remember before when we counted, we said it was 5 units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But we could also subtract to find the length. We're going to start with the larger number and subtract the smaller number, and that will tell us the length. Sorry, I have a little chat going and it's going crazy, so I apologize for the sound. 6 minus 1 is 5. That's our length. Now the 4s are the same, so we don't worry about them. We find the one that's different, and on this one it's the y-axis that we're looking for, right? We're finding the length on this y-axis because we're going up and down, the y-axis. So we say 6 minus 1 is 5, so our length is 5. Okay, so there's 2 ways to find a length of a line. We can count unit squares or we can subtract. Okay, so let's keep going with that. You guys are doing awesome. Turn to page 297. 297 in your student workbook. 297. This looks like this. Now, I did that first one for you, and you are going to try this one on your own. We can do this. Okay, so we have horizontal and vertical distance. That's our x and y axis that they're talking about, horizontal and vertical. So let's go ahead and get these points plotted to begin with. It says for number 26, plot a point at 110 and label the point A. So go ahead and do that now. Over 1, up 10. Your dot should look like that. And then we, of course, need to label that A. Make sure you're doing this in your book as well. You got that? Okay. The next one says plot a point at 1, 7. Go to the right 1, go up 7. Label that point B. If at any time I go too fast, or if you did something wrong and you need to correct it, feel free to pause and, catch up or fix your mistake and then join us back at the same time. You can pause the video anytime. Okay, so our label B should look like that. Sorry, I shouldn't show you that other page. I don't want to confuse you. There we go. That should be our label B. The next one says plot a point at 8, 10. So we're going to go to the right 8, over 8, up 10. And label that point C. Should look like that. You got it? Okay, next one says plot a point at 8, 7. We go over to the right 8, go up 7. And label that point D. Okay, now it says to connect the points to form a quadrilateral. So I'm going to go A to B, B. Well, I'm just going to connect all the points. How about that? We'll just connect them like that. There we go. Our quadrilateral is a rectangle. We are good to go. Okay, now number 27 in our workbook says, explain how subtraction can be used to find the lengths of line segments AB and AC. Well, we haven't done that part yet, but we could find we want to find first, okay, so first we're just going to find the length of line AB. let's just find the length of line AB first, okay? Here's our line AB right now, okay? Remember we said there's two ways to find it. We could count, so let's see, we've got 1, 2, 3 units, or we could also subtract, okay? And let's see how we do that. I know this is not the most ideal situation. I wish I had a, oh, now I can't even remember what they're called. The document camera, and I could record that as well, but anyway. So here we go. We have line A, B, and here's our coordinate points, okay? The ones that are the same are just telling us what line they're on, and we don't need these numbers anymore. So we don't need those if they're the same. The next ones that we're looking at are the ones that are different. We've got 10 and 7. And we can find out how long this line is if we subtract the smaller number from the larger number. So 10 minus 7 is 3, and that's what we counted also, 1, 2, 3. So the distance between point A and B, or the distance of the line of AB, is 3 units. So we can find, or we can say for 27, we could subtract the y coordinates to find the length, okay? That's for AB. But now let's take a look at AC. AC goes a different direction. AC goes from left to right. So if we want to subtract, well, first let's count. We could count the length. Let's see, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's what I'm counting. 7 units is the length of that line. But look, let's see if we could also figure it out this way. So here's our point A, and here's our point C. We're going to ignore this B right in the middle because we're only talking about line AC. So we need the points for A and the points for C. Now, when we did this before, we found what was the same about the coordinate points and what was different. Now, the same on this one is actually the y coordinates, right? That second set of coordinates. So the 10 is the same. Those y coordinates are the same. What's different on these ones is the x coordinates, the 1 and the 8. So, sorry, I shouldn't hold that pencil in front of my face. We can subtract again on this one to find out. And the way we do it is, first we ignore the ones that are the same, we find the coordinates that are different, and we subtract the lower number from the higher number. So we start with the 8 this time because it's the higher number, and we subtract 1. 8 minus 1 is 7. Well, that's what we counted as well, right? So we know we're right. We counted the distance as 7 squares, and 8 minus 1 is 7. So that's how we can find the distance for line AC. Okay. Number 28 says, in the coordinate plane above, draw a rectangle that is not a square. Okay, so this is one that you would do on your own. Make another rectangle similar to the one that we did at the top, but it doesn't have to be the same length on any of the sides. And it says to not make it be a square. Okay, and a square would be equal on all sides, and we don't want it to be a square. Then it wants you to show or tell what the ordered pairs are that you used. Okay, so you'll go through and make points at the corners, label them how you'd like, and then tell us what the ordered pairs are, and that's what you would write for 29. Okay, and then we can find the distance by subtracting those parts of the coordinate pairs that are different, or you can count. Okay. Now I want you to turn your page. You can do that one. You can pause that and finish that page out. And then I want you to turn to page 298. I do want to look at the puzzled penguin today. Let's take a look at Puzzle Penguin. I know it's not all of your favorites, but this one is a common mistake for fifth graders, so we have to talk about it. We want to talk about it. We're on 298. Okay, dear math students, I was asked to name the location of a fourth point that would form a square when the points are connected by line segments. Okay, so see, he's got 1, 2, 3 points, and he was asked to make a square. So if all of these were connected, connect, 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 right? Looks like we would need another point right there to make our square, or make Puzzle Penguin square. I think, I'm still reading, I think the point 7, 4 would form a square. Do you think this is correct? Okay, so take a look at the graph. I want you to find 7, 4, put your finger on it. Is he correct? Now we know Puzzle Penguin is not always correct. So we can probably assume that he's not, but if you did it exactly how he did, let's take a look. It says that he found the point 7, 4, and he thought that would be it. Well, if we did that, we'd go over 7, up 4. Am I doing that right? Over 7, up 4. There it is. Would that form our square? Would that be right? What did he do wrong? Yeah, I can tell that some of you are understanding. It's mental telepathy. You're right, he actually mixed up the X and Y coordinate. He was saying 7, 4, meaning go up 7 over 4, but that's not how we do it. Remember, we always start and we do this line first. So we always go over first and then up. So we've got to do our X coordinate first. We would go over 4, up 7. So instead of 7, 4, it should be 4, 7, right? Over 4, up 7. So that was Puzzle Penguin's mistake, right? Okay, awesome. Now, with just talking a little bit about that today, and we're going to talk some more about it for next time, but I do want you to finish the math assignment for 7-5. So we just had a couple left. Let me just double check on those so that we are all on the same page. But it looks like, yeah, we were just finishing 8, 9, and 10. 8, 9, and 10. Okay, so take a look at your homework. Just finish those last 3 problems. Good luck. Let me know if you have questions. See ya.